Hello there. I guess I'll just use both hands to say hello there. Chandramukhi. Yeah, I just watched it. This one wasn't highly rated, so I'm not doing a watch along for it. I just decided to watch it on my own. And I'm not gonna lie, I was confused by it, mainly because it starts off with they made it seem like this highway thing was important. The highway is being blocked off, someone's fighting for it, and then you have the main actor show up and destroy everyone. They never bring up the highway again. They have the husband go out and kind of survey the highway, but it's never important. It honestly should have never been brought up. It was just a way to introduce the actor and have him fight a ridiculous fight. I was not a fan of how they did the ropes and how they did all. It just was a little too much. Also, the second time he fights was like the guard of the mother-in-law or future mother. It was there out of nowhere. There was no reason for that fight scene as well. So I don't know why they even introduced that. And I gotta say, one thing I gotta say, of course, Bahubulaya was done after, so they did a lot of things better because they realized what they could improve on. In this one, he's a doctor. He reads minds. He's a psychiatrist. He's a genius. He's everything. He's absolutely everything. And in Bahubulaya, you think he's just a complete joke. He's a laughable character. He plays the role well. The way he acts. Here in this movie, it wasn't as... I didn't care for it. Of course, the person he kept teasing because he kept flirting with the guy's wife and kept joking about every little thing. I didn't really mind that. It didn't fit as well. And the fact that you already know everything about him. I liked in Bahubulaya when the whole thing was a surprise when Akshay Kumar finally showed up. When he finally showed up, and he was the main focus of the trailer. The main focus. It's his face on the cover, and you don't see him till the very end of the last half of the movie. And I was just like, oh yeah, he's in this movie. And here, you have him in the entire film. And I know he's a beloved actor. I know everyone enjoys him. I just feel like he overstayed his welcome because you already get that he's a Mary Sue type character. He's the greatest at everything. And then you get him all the way to the very end, and they introduce like this freeway fight scene for no reason. They introduce the fight scene to the bodyguard of the mother-in-law for no reason. It's just so many little things. And I wasn't really a big fan of the Cobra, the CGI Cobra. I don't know why it was there, because if it's all fictitious, there is no reason to try to make the audience believe that it is real. The one thing that makes it great, and I love this story mainly because, just like with Bahubulaya, it's the battle between science and belief, because there's always an issue there. There's always a conflict, whether it's... I can't get too much into that because it'll hurt people, but it's just... The conflict between science and belief, I love it. And the fact that they merge both of them perfectly, because even though they are using the psychological aspect of her being unstable, they're using the religious aspect for her to believe she's reincarnated and actually being able to leave the body. It worked. It works. I like it. But this movie was so... It felt like it was dragging its feet because the same jokes were being done over and over and over again. I thought it was funny when he was reading that guy's mind, talking back to him, and then basically hitting on the guy's wife. It was funny, but they did it every single scene that guy was in it. He would be hitting on that guy's wife every single time, and they'd have innuendos, and it was just like, at this point in time, it's a little overdone. That's why I think it worked better in the remake, the Bollywood remake, when they had Akshay Kumar come in at the very end, and he just kept tormenting that one poor woman for like 30 minutes. And then finally, the story took off. So for 30 minutes, you think he's a complete moron. But no, in Chandramukhi, he's an amazing doctor. That's all you hear about him. He's an amazing doctor. He's a famous person. He's a great psychiatrist. He has to leave to go see one of his patients. He returns. So many little things that are just, I guess the best part about doing a remake is you can see what works and what doesn't work. And honestly, I gotta say, as of right now, Bahubulaya is the much better version. This one, it just seemed to have so much extra that served no purpose. Because if I was to get a hold of this footage, I would have edited out a ton of stuff just to actually keep the story there. Because the story isn't actually solid. It's not really, because I wasn't a fan of the whole family dynamic on why the supposed in-laws, the promised spouse, but not real spouse was there. What I liked about the remake was it was basically someone who had lived outside for a long period of time. When they return with their wife, they are jaded to all kinds of belief. They have become westernized. It's atheism or nothing, basically. And it worked. It worked because he's all, I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in that stuff. And I like that. I like the fact that he just didn't believe in any of that stuff. So in the end, the remake is better. Of course, this one, Chandramukhi, is a remake of the original. So I might need to see the original. Maybe I'll watch that one as an actual watch along, and I'll break it down as I'm watching it. I was like, oh, this was done better in this movie. This was done better in this movie. Why is this not here? Why is this here in this movie that wasn't done in I think that would be the best part about it. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was just had so much extra fluff. And I'm not a fan of fluff. I'm a type of person who, if it gives me a chuckle, it's sometimes good, but when it's overdone, when the fluff is overdone, it doesn't work. And from the very beginning, that action sequence, and then it gets to the story, it really did throw me out. And then they had to bring another action sequence back, which once again threw me out because they just had to throw that action sequence in because, well, this actor's an action actor. You have to give him an action scene. So they gave him an action scene in the middle and they gave him an action scene at the beginning. Even though they served no purpose to the story, they had to throw that in. This whole yelling sequence over the phone about the freeway, about that contract, about what they just, maybe I missed something there, but I wasn't a fan of that part. Yeah, but thank y'all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.